Hello! It's a little late for us, but parental duties take precedent over live videos. Sorry. So, we'll wait just a minute and we will get this party started. We're going to talk about some motivation today, how to stay motivated, or to help yourself stay motivated, right?
Sure.
As I'm choking on my own saliva. Gross. Alright, well, I have people messaging me. I forgot to turn that off again. I really need to get my act together with this phone situation. Alright, so let's dig into motivation. Now, there's a million different reasons why people get motivation to do things, anything in life. It doesn't have to be just your health and fitness. It could be a career path, like choosing a new one or choosing a new job, whatever the case may be. At some point, everybody gets motivated to do something. But then, after a little while, the motivation kind of goes away, and then you're left with feeling uninspired and not so great, right?
Right. Which will bring us today, I have my notebook down here as an example of what got you motivated in the first place. You write all that stuff down. We talk about keeping schedules, writing stuff down, and making yourself accountable for things. This is my notebook. I do that. If I hear something that, inspires me or makes me feel good, I have all these quotes in here, and, I'll go through them all the time and just read a page. And this is the stuff that inspires me and motivates me and reminds me why I'm doing it. Like, I'm down on my shit tonight because I'm, feeling like a slug, but, so I'm kind of should practice what I'm preaching. This is everything in here. If you have good ideas of what you want to do, by this date, I'm going to do this. By this date, I'm going to do that. Write it down in your notebook. Put it down there. When I'm listening to motivation, personal development and stuff, I try to have a notebook nearby because if something strikes my interest, I write it down in there. And then, technically what you should be doing daily is in the morning before you go to bed, start your day off right in your mind, positivity. So in the morning, I usually like to listen to stuff, but I could read it. Before you go to bed, read a couple pages because then it sets your mindset for when you're sleeping. When you're sleeping, you're going to have positive thoughts, and that will carry on through. You sleep, you wake up positive, you read more positive shit, because I'll tell you what, there's a bunch of negative stuff. That's all you have to do in the morning is when you get up is turn the TV on, which we do not do. You put on a news station, they thrive off of everything that's negative, and then they'll throw in 1% of well, there's a puppy that's cute, adopt him, blah, blah, blah. But all the negativity. So you should just block yourself from that. Keep yourself accountable. Like I said, this is my notebook. Even on the front, it has a little motivational saying.
We have a few of those notebooks all over the house.
We've got plaques around, and we have pictures. It's
and our wall of motivation for our
workouts.
workouts.
You guys see the wall. And it's a constant reminder that you're stronger than you think you are in your weakest moment. Like I said, I'm having a little bit of a bad night, but
he was crabby.
I know that I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll feel better about it. Just sleep on it, get it over it. Give yourself a couple minutes to feel a pity party for yourself, and then move the fuck on. And that's what I'm going to do, because I'm already annoyed with myself about it. Because with personal development, motivation, and doing stuff like that, I'm very, very passionate about it. I listen to it day in and day out. I could literally be in a shit mood and I'll throw on my headphones and I'll listen to something and it jacks me up. I go on YouTube. Yeah, we read books. I probably should read some of my book tonight. It's called Fuck It, The Spiritual Way, and it teaches you how to take the things that you think that are bothering you in life and say, fuck it. too many times people like myself and a lot of people included will hold things on their shoulders because they think that's the way you should do things or that's what expected of you. But if you don't feel that way, they teach you to say, fuck it, throw it off your shoulders, release your anxieties, release your depression, or whatever that's bringing you, and move on with your life. Because basically what we're trying to do with these things is help people move on, grow. And if you have all this shit hanging on your shoulders and you can't say fuck it to it, then it's going to constantly be holding you back.
That's my motto for 2017.
Yeah, hers, fuck it. Mine, I came up with mine earlier in there, and it was 2 words that came up to me and it said change it.
Yes.
So many people complain about things, including myself. I don't like the way this goes. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't fit into these clothes. I want this. I change it, change it, change it, change it, change it. If you're not doing things the way they should be, then fucking change it. It's obvious. But
the book is called Fuck It. Literally, it's called Fuck It.
Yeah, it's called Fuck It, the Spiritual Way.
He'll go get it. It's on his nightstand. Yeah, we have a lot of personal development books down here in our basement, but we have a lot of them upstairs in our bedroom too. So, yeah, the book is called Fuck It, and that is my motto for 2017. Like, let it go, fuck it, who cares? People do not contribute to your household finances or just your household. I don't know how things run. Like, who cares about their fucking opinions? It doesn't matter.
Everybody can see it. It's by John Parkin. It's called Fuck It.
It's going to be backwards on your screen. But
the ultimate spiritual way. We picked it up on Amazon. It was like $10.
Right.
I mean, it's not expensive. And I'm about a quarter of the way through. Got my cool ass little book saver here, or page saver, whatever.
My bookmark's better because Ella made it for me, I think, last year. And I thought I lost it, and I was so sad because it's the funniest looking bookmark ever, but it's amazing because of it.
But this one, I'm not through it yet, but I'm like 3 or 4 chapters through it, and it puts perspective on things, because I'm not perfect, Samantha's not perfect, but I know everybody meets that certain purpose. They meet that certain person that where a problem to you, you'd be like, well, for this instance, fuck it. You don't bother you. It bothers you for about 10 seconds, and you move on. You see other people that same problem will destroy their whole day. It'll destroy their whole day. They'll post on Facebook about it. They'll go to their coworkers about it. And it's like, why does that bother you so much? So if you're one of them people and you have issues with that, I mean, this is going to help on all different facets, because it kind of, like I said, it puts it in perspective to say, fuck it. And it helps you breathe for people that need help breathing, like that hold it. I held everything in. I hold everything. I said no more. It's going to damage my health. I mean, it's going to take years off my life.
Yeah, you don't really hold that stuff anymore.
So then, a lot of people are even saying with these videos that I do, like, I can't believe you're doing this shit and you're putting yourself out there. And it's like, I can't not do it anymore. I can't not do it. And I know how I felt with certain things, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. So it's like, if I put myself out there and share how I feel, other people are going to relate, and they're going to say, wow, maybe I can make that one simple change in my life and move forward in a positive direction. But it's all about, being motivated. Doing the personal development is huge. It's huge, huge, huge. Everybody thinks it's like, oh, it's like, I thought about it. I don't know if everybody, I'm sure a lot of people, because I say I listen to stuff or do things.
You used to think I was a crazy person.
It's like, oh, they just want to brainwash you, and then you're going to try to sell you shit. But there's so much value involved into it, So, if you're not doing personal development, take a look at it. Think about it. Go on YouTube. You could just put in motivational speakers.
Yeah, that's it.
You could put in personal development, and a shit ton of people in there. What I did when I started first listening to personal development is I put in Google search, I put top 10 motivational speakers, and it gives you a list. And then I went on YouTube and I went through them things, saved a bunch of videos, and I've been listening to it. I mean, I don't know how long it's been now, but I think
a few months.
I can honestly say, like, if I didn't start listening to it and start doing personal motivation, I would have jumped off a building by now probably, because
We would at least be divorced.
yeah, it's tough. Dealing with all the bullshit. It helps you, putt your way through it. Actually, not putt your way through it. Actually, it helps you fight through it and get through it with a vengeance. And like I said, the small petty shit that you realize, it just bounces off of you. It bounces off of you because you have that strength in your head. I mean, you could go and bench press 500 pounds, nobody gives a shit. If somebody says something to you that would have bothered you before and you're like, hey, that shit don't bother me no more, that's like lifting 1,000 pounds. I mean, it's way more badass.
As you listen to that stuff, your whole mental process starts to change. So I can give a great example because I was a crazy road rage person. Like, in a car, like, it was ridiculous. I curse a lot as it is, but if you get me in a car and somebody were to cut in front of me in the dumbest situations, to the point where if somebody would tell me that my tail light or something was out, I would be like, fuck you, like, what's wrong with you? And they're just trying to help me out. Like, that's how mind fucked I was. But anyway, there was an instance where I was driving down the street the one day and this guy like slammed on his brakes in front of me, and I had to like kind of slam on my brakes, and it was icy out, and so I had to like do this crazy swerve thing, and instead of throwing the usual what the fuck you motherfucker whatever, I was like, wow, I'm really happy the car stopped. Like, that, I don't, if anybody knows me or has driven in a car with me, like, that was huge, because it just took that, like, it makes your whole mindset change in every aspect of life. Like, the small stuff doesn't bother you so much anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, we all have our days where we're aggravated and things happen, and if you're a woman, it's that time of the month, you get a little edgy, that kind of stuff. But I mean, overall though, it's amazing at what just listening to something for, even if it was only 10 minutes a morning, because every morning when he leaves for work, I'm in the shower and I put it on while I'm taking a shower. And that is how I start my morning after I work out, because that's important too.
It helps you get through not only the external stuff, but a lot of the internal stuff, where we were talking about excuses, working out, eating healthy, this or that. It helps you to put it in perspective and hold yourself accountable. A lot of this stuff that they say is absolutely 100% obvious, but sometimes, like me, big time, like when I hear other people saying it and I hear them say it with the passion they're talking about, like, just make these simple changes in your life and your life will be changed. They're not shitting. They're not shitting at all, because whereas before I would look at a negative event and be like, harp on it and dwell on it, now it'd be like, try to find something positive from that. Whether it's, well, I'll never do that again, so at least I know that, to like, well, somebody's road raging on you, but we don't know. Maybe somebody's in the hospital and he's trying to get there and say his final goodbyes. Maybe, he's going to a job interview or doing these other things. But, maybe he's just a fucking asshole that shouldn't be driving. But changing your perspective and your outlook on how you view things, a lot less stress. A lot less stress on you, a lot less stress. And I always told her before, somebody flips you off, you flip them off back, you don't know what that person's capable of. People get shot and killed for petty shit all the time. You don't know. That dude's in a moment of rage, he may just pop off a couple rounds at you, and for what?
Because he cut me off.
Because he cut you off, you wanted to be an asshole back. It's like, it teaches you to be a better person, how to overcome things.
Look at things in a different perspective, for sure.
And it's awesome. And it helps with everything. Even me just talking about it right now, I feel better about...
I feel that you feel better.
About stuff, and I might rip a couple pages, read a couple pages this before I go to bed, or just maybe pop on my headphones. Or I have this wireless speaker that I just have connected to my phone. We carry it around, and I take it in the shower in the morning. Not in the shower, put it on the sink. Constantly listening to it every chance I can get.
This is also a great thing for your kids to listen to, because we do that all the time. If we're in the car, or just when we're doing chores around the house, we have personal development pumping instead of like crazy music. And don't get me wrong, I love some nasty ass gangster rap. Like, I really do. Deep down inside, that is what I love. But instead of our kids listening to about popping caps in people's asses and bitches and hoes, they're listening about how to better their lives someday. So there's it's a great thing for your children to listen to as well. And even if they're not listening, they're getting it subconsciously.
Right. And we try to incorporate it, and it still happens from time to time, a little different activities. They like doing art projects a lot, so I wrote down some of my favorite motivational quotes on a Post-it note, gave them blank pieces of paper, put a ton in a folder, and I said, well, when you want to do art projects, pull it out and draw it out on a thing, and then we'll hang them up around the house. And by them doing that, they're like, oh, this is my favorite, motivates me. This makes me feel good. And it's like 8 years old, 12 years old, and then the 15-year-old, I mean, nothing motivates that kid, so we're just going to let that one sit.
He's just a dick.
to see the way the kids respond to it is another level. I'm inspired by certain things. I want to express how I'm inspired by trying to push it on the kids a little bit, and then they say, like, this one motivates me and that makes them feel good, then that makes me feel good, and it makes me want to do more things, and it creates this awesome circle of positivity, because really that's all it's about. Teach your kids, I mean, you guys could teach your kids whatever you want, and Samantha and myself, we have a completely different parenting style, I would say, than others. And you know, people always kind of commend us, like, wow, you guys are great with your kids, but we're bluntly honest.
Brutally honest.
It's brutally honest, but whatever. It's like there's no secrets. We listen to certain music. We may watch certain movies to a certain extent that we'll let them watch, but we also show them the respect, and we want to teach them the respect. Like, okay, go ahead and say that word, and they'd be like, no, why not? Because I'm not allowed to. So we're teaching them accountability. You can do things in their life and say things and teach them things, but teaching them right from wrong and what's good and what's bad, and setting that precedent at a young age will take them through life thinking, you know, a step ahead. I know a lot of friends that I had growing up, they weren't allowed to watch certain things. They couldn't listen to certain music. They had to dress a certain way. And then, you know, knowing them now as adults, they're just fucking nutcases because they were sheltered so much, and then they find out
drug addicts.
You find out the truth of the real world, and it like smacks you in the face. So yeah, I mean, it's never ever ever too young, I don't think, for a lot of stuff. But
or old to
it definitely
get into personal development.
Definitely pushing. You know, I'm not going to let them read this book. I mean, it has fuck it like this, but it has them little stars in there. But there's a lot of wording in there that has that phrase, and I won't let them teach it, but I will teach them what I learned from this book and try to implement that in our life in a different way. But it's definitely a positive influence, and it teaches them positivity. And anytime they want to bicker with each other and push each other, we try to use that as a learning experience from what we learned to display in a positive manner, rather than say, would you guys stop it? Be like, no, what would you do different in this situation? And how do you think your sister feels this way? We try to, you know, talk about it through that way.
We try, but they're still kids, so they're still kind of dicks
Right.
sometimes, so they don't really, like, I mean, they're kids.
So we try different
do our
ways.
best.
I mean, we have fake snowballs, so
Yes, that we need to talk about all the stuff on a different thing. But yeah, Brian's he has two things that are therapeutic for him when it comes to our children. He has Chaz, our therapy cat. His therapy cat. That was why he bought him and rescued him, not bought him. And snowballs that he throws at our children whenever they piss him off, and they're these like cotton snowball things. And then they have snowball fights, so you gotta find what works for you. But
so
anyway, back to the motivation.
Motivation, we'll sum it up here because we're already too long.
Yes.
I know she has stuff, we have stuff. This isn't my only notebook. This is like my sit-down notebook, listen to personal development. I have another one that's, smaller. If I have any ideas, like I have ideas written down in here about like future things we could talk about. Anytime I keep another one down when I'm working out and stuff, because I often, get motivated when I'm doing that and come up with ideas. I write everything down, and whatever it inspires me, or it's an idea that I want to use to try to inspire other people, or something I want to implement in my life, or just something to share with Samantha and be like, I just read this thing's awesome, or I listened to this, it just struck me. I don't know if it'll do the same for you, but it's almost like getting a high off of it, because it does open your mind, and it opens your heart and opens your whole self up to be a different person instead of this fucking balled up thing.
Angry, grumpy, crabby person all the time, because that's not fun. No one wants to be around people like that.
And if you have we have a smart TV, we do, or if you could stream from your phone to your TV, often go on to, we have a YouTube app on our TV for the smart TV. As soon as you click on it, it has a bunch of motivational shit, and it starts to learn you and offer you new things. And I mean, you could take it all from workout motivation to spiritual motivation,
whatever you're into.
Yeah, I mean, just basically just go with it and find what you really like, and I guarantee you, that's one of the things I put there with working out, although it's a lot easier to do personal development than working out, but you feel just as good after you did personal development as you work out, or if you have a nice clean meal. All three of them go together awesome. So,
yeah,
highly recommended. I mean,
I will make sure that on our blog post for this, I list some of our favorite books, because we have quite a few of them that have inspired us, and I'll even maybe post some YouTube links too for some of our most favorite inspirational things that we listen to. Some are only a few minutes long, and some are upwards of an hour, but there's some pretty good stuff out there if you just go and search for it, and it could literally change your life. So that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.